आत्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम् धार सर्व एवैते ज्ञात्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्तितस्य हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्. Please repeat. On my table, next to the computer, I think there's Brahmi. It's a bottle. It's a medicine. Can you grab that? What? Just grab the bottle. Mamevanutamam gatim. Right. Okay, mothers. Udhara sarva evaite. What happened? Okay, anybody else? All right. Can everybody hear this? Is it loud enough? Needs to be louder. Can you hear? Can you turn it up a little bit? Okay. Udaraha, magnanimous, sarve, all, eva, certainly, ete, these, jnani, one who is in knowledge, tu, but, Atma eva, just like myself. Me, mine. Matam, opinion. Astitaha, situated. Saha, he. He, certainly. Yuktatma, engaged in devotional service. Mam, in me. Eva, certainly. Anuttamam, the highest. Gatim, destination. Translation and report by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. Purport. It is not that devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vichapattanam Pavanibhyo Vishnabhyo Namanaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmaspatikakriyam Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagribam Upasmahe Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hai Vigna Vinashana Nayasya Hai Nija Vanchita Purana. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so we are speaking about a very important subject matter, and specifically related here, Krishna is mentioning knowledge, self, being very dear. So here, Krishna is starting to give the principle of love. This is what is being discussed here. This is, you'll see, one who is in knowledge of me. I consider it to be just like my own self. So, this love, so much speaking goes on about love. And there's so many people that are qualified or unqualified to speak about it. Now, the whole question comes into question, what is love? Can anybody define love? Anybody want to try? What is love? Unconditional, sure, okay.
Serving the other person's needs and troubles and yours.
Really? Serving the other person's needs and troubles, okay. Sounds like exploitation to me. The other person can easily exploit you?
Well, that's why you have to find a person who does the same thing.
It's okay, you have to find a person who does the same thing back, okay. Actually, in one of our literatures it says, I've heard that as soon as you try to define it, it's no longer, you can't actually capture it. That is the nature of it. Because love you cannot actually define because it is beyond its definition. It's kind of beyond logic and reason sometimes, the way that it works. Often my spiritual master quotes that the ways of love is like that of a snake or like a serpent. It moves in very, what is the exact word she used, do you remember? I don't know. It's like, Yeah, it's not, you don't know exactly how it's going to go. So that is the way of love. So some people are qualified to speak on love. Who am I to speak on this subject matter? Because generally love means in this world what? Well, yeah, sure, okay. That's a little jumping forward, but generally it's exhibited, Who is it exhibited between? Generally a man and a woman. Or, so you'll see that even when that love takes place, generally the man loves the woman or the woman loves the man, or there's infatuation, there's love, then there's like, it's all of a sudden life becomes very colorful, right? Yeah, anybody ever fell in love here before? You did? Okay. Anybody else? No? Oh, you did? Okay. All right, Yash. Jish. I think everybody's experienced some level of it, right? I'm sure, like, people are being shy. But I'm sure at least you can remember when you're a teenager and you saw someone that you really liked, or like all of a sudden that so-called spark, and then whatever, you get into a relationship and it's all wonderful and colorful, life is great. I don't know what that is. I never had a relationship. So who am I to speak on this thing? Who am I to speak on the nature of love and what that is when I have no experience of it? Practically, you could say that. Or generally, what does love lead to in this world? Distress, but generally love means sex. Right? Right? Am I wrong? We're being blunt here. Yeah? If you can't have sex, what is the use of your love? Right? If you love someone, the other person, generally leads to sex. And that is seen as the, in this world, as seen as the, you could say, the, pinnacle, is that the right word? The top thing of love. When you love someone and you have sex with them, that's like the height of it. So that is the love of this material world. But I can't understand that. I don't know any of that. At least within my lifetime. Within this life. So, how can we discuss love? How can I discuss love? How can I explain to you what is being spoken about here? So, the love of this material world, we can't speak. I can't speak on exactly. We've seen it. I mean, everybody's seen it. You go to the park, and there's a girl and a guy sitting together, and they're completely just, you can see this completely in their own world. Okay, that must be something. Or sometimes it's cannot understand. Sometimes it's a very old woman and it's a very young man. It's like, okay, that's the love. And they say, oh yeah, we love each other. We love each other. How can you understand that? You can't understand it. So, it's okay, that's enough. Yeah, I keep drinking otherwise. So, love, well, we can at least try to understand something about it. Generally, who do we love? Who do we love? Huh? Other people, right? People. And what is the qualification of those people in order for us to love them? Huh? Reciprocation, yeah? That they love us back, right? Sure, in the beginning you may see someone and they may be really nice, and some level, some feeling of the heart will come and all of these things. But the idea is that, if that feeling comes and then you try to interact with them and there's no reciprocation at all, then that feeling over time just goes away. So love means reciprocation, that the love that you give this person, they're able to give back to you, right? Otherwise, what is love? Love is a two-way street, right? It's not a one-way thing. So how do you love someone? By serving them, yeah? Huh? Acts of kindness, that's service. It falls into the realm of service. Why service? Love in action. Yeah. But service, what kind of service? How do you know how to serve someone? You have to know them. Huh? You can speak any language, but if you don't do the right thing, then who the hell cares about your language? You can talk smooth. That's like the thing, right? You talk smooth. You're a smooth talker. That's like, I could never do that. But I saw my friends do it, right? I was like, I couldn't bring myself to do that. I can't do that to someone. But they would say anything and everything. They knew what they liked to hear. They knew what they like to hear, so you say what they like to hear. But your actions don't speak, or like they don't follow what your words follow. And what are those words for? They're not for love. They're specifically to get one thing and one thing only. And I think everybody knows what that is. So you may speak words of love, but what is the use of those words of love if there is no actions followed up with that word? So what does one needs to know what that person likes and who that person is. And not just that, that's one level. One level is to know, this person likes this person likes that. And another level is to understand that and go out of one way to satisfy that person in the way they like. Right? Generally, when somebody does that to us, it creates a feeling in our heart of some level of love, right? That's how love works. Yeah? Otherwise, if you, let's say, if you just, you're at work and work just sucks, okay? And that's kind of a fact, And your colleague comes up to you and gives you your favorite food, whatever it may be. What's people's favorite food? Ice cream? Cake? What's your favorite food, Frederick? Donuts? I'm sorry, bro. Sorry. Yeah. I got you. He's a police officer, so I got him. I can get away with this one. He's a servant. I'm sorry. He's gonna give me back. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love. It's words of love. You like that one? So, some of us like ice cream, some of us like cake, some of us like donuts, some of us like so many different things. So we don't expect it when you go. When you go to work, you don't expect someone to come and try to satisfy you. But if someone comes and does it out of their own will, and somehow they know what you like, sometimes ever had that? In a day, in the morning, you just, you've just been really craving a particular type of food. Nobody ever had that? And you're like, man, I really wish somebody would give me that. I had that so many times. And then somebody brings that, and you're like, oh. And they give it with love. And it's like, oh, there's a level of affection developed for this person, is it not? Right? If someone comes to you and gives you something that you really like without you actually like even asking for it, then it's special. Then that person sticks in your mind. That person holds dear in your heart. All of a sudden that you didn't even know this person, your colleague you may even know. If you want to get really dear to someone actually, you cook something very nice that they like. Figure out what they really, really love and cook it in the way they like it. Don't make what they really like in a terrible way. That's not so good. That it creates this affection. All of a sudden registers that person in our mind. So love is generally when we are able to be satisfied. Satisfied by others who know us without even having to tell them. Right? That is generally, that's why people get into so many arguments now, This is a meme growing up when you're a teenager. That generally the woman never knows what she wants, and you're meant to know what she wants without her even telling you. Right? Everybody who's been married and gone through all of this. No? Am I wrong? I don't know. So maybe, am I wrong? You're expected to know, right? As a husband or a boyfriend or a thing, you're expected to know what she wants. Am I right? Maybe Navini knows. Yes? Absolutely. There you go. Yes. Mm-hmm. Read their minds. Can't turn into a brahmachari class over here. So you're meant to be able to read their minds. You're meant to be able to read their hearts, right? You're meant to be able to see what's in their heart. And so this means that we have to be able to satisfy that person, or they have to satisfy us. But this satisfaction specifically is based on what? On me, myself, I. And who is that? Who am I? Who are you? Huh? People don't understand that point. That generally people think, well, I'm black, I'm white, I'm whatever, Asian, American, Indian, such and such, African, Australian. So what satisfies one person doesn't satisfy another. What satisfies you now with your lover won't satisfy you in 2 months. The same thing you buy for the man or the woman today, if you bought the same thing in 2 months, they'll be like, what the hell? What the hell is this? I don't like this anymore. So it changes, then your knowledge has to change. And then in a year or two, it's just like we have, It's just like happily ever after, sign the papers, get married, 2 years later, it's just what happened, and sign the papers again, divorce. So that same love in this material world is transformed sometimes into wrath, into anger, into distress. That same person that created so many good feelings within their heart creates so much pain within their heart, right? No? Yes? No? Everybody have experience of this? No, some people don't. That's great. I'm sure everybody has experience, whether it's your friends or whether it's your wife or girlfriend or such and such. If you love someone and the relationship changes over time because our identification changes, because we don't know who we are. We don't know, that's the problem. We're trying to get love or give love without an understanding of who we are. It's completely foolish. It's foolish. It's absolutely dumb. How can you try to get something so high when you don't understand something so simple? How? How will you get it? What will happen? Simply become frustrated. The love that you want will not be satisfied. Why? Because it's on the basis of wrong knowledge. And Krishna is speaking about knowledge here, knowing. So we may love someone, but that relationship quickly changes according to the likes and dislikes of that person, and that changes according to what satisfies our senses at this one point or another, or what satisfies our mind, what we identify with today or what we identify with tomorrow. So this makes it hard, right, to understand how to even come to the platform of love. How can love turn into anger? That some people say everything is love. Ever heard this? Everybody heard this? Love is love. Everything is love. Everything is love. Is it? This person told me this once. Everything is love. Everybody, okay. Hitler's love for the Jews. Right? Yeah? That's love too. So the love that is there in this material world, it's like saying knowledge is ignorance. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? So the love that's there turns into lust, or is lust. Why? Because lust is the only thing that can turn into wrath, anger, deceitful, this feeling of hurt, this feeling of not being satisfied. And Krishna describes this in the Bhagavad Gita, how from attachment, from contemplation, attachment arises. From contemplation, lust arises. Lust, attachment. Is it the other way around? Forget. Attachment and then lust. Okay, contemplation, attachment, then lust. From lust, when lust is dissatisfied, which is, then there is anger, such and such, and then one just completely loses himself. So the love of this material world is often, it's what is seen as love, what we know to be love, is lust because it's only pointed towards our senses. And what we like and what we dislike, or what the other person likes, changes. So you can actually never satisfy that person, and that person can never satisfy you. You just have to learn to live with it, right? That's the nature of, marriage is a, formal thing. So after some time, you just do it because that's the way to do things. People would say, well, love our whole life, but actually it's more duty than love. People make it a point of more duty than love. That, we did this marriage thing, we got to stick it out, right? Which is good. I'm not saying that's bad. But generally this love is not maintained in this material. It's temporary because our ideas and who we are is also temporary. You're a 19-year-old today, or a 20-year-old, or a 25-year-old, or a 30-year-old, and you belong to a particular society of 19-year-old teenagers dressing a particular way. And then you become 20, and then now you're part of the 20-year-old society. And then 30, and then 40, and then 50. Or you may be part of a baseball club when you're young, or a football club. And then you quit that, and then you go into university and do something else. Your interests change completely. And your identification of who you are changes. So with this constant change, there's no question of actually coming to the platform of real love, or real knowledge. So then one important question one has to ask oneself again, as we speak about this so often, because it is the basis of everything. If you don't know who you are, you got no chance to do anything in life. It's going to frustrate you. Everything you do is going to frustrate you. We've got a new video coming out by Ali Krishna Prabhu on our Life as a Monk channel, specifically speaking about some of these things, about how a fish, if he misidentifies with being a land animal, and we've talked about this many times, and you read it in our books also, that whether it has a very fancy car or a fancy job, or may own a business, or may have this and that, have a lot of these women, very beautiful, but it is not satisfied no matter what. Why? Because it's out of its natural habitat. It doesn't know the fish doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know that he belongs in the water, in which he can be really satisfied. It's a misidentification. One identifies as the external and neglects the internal. who one actually is. He identifies us with the changes that is going on with this body. But he doesn't identify who that observer of that changes is. That is the illusion that the soul has been covered by. Misidentification with this body. That is our problem. That is our main problem. So many people are telling us this is the problem, that is the problem. Mental health is the problem, this is the problem. The problem is that you're white, the problem is that you're black, the problem is that you're too young, too old. No, actually the problem is that you're identifying with all of these things. That is your problem. That is our problem. That is my problem. That is my problem. I'm not sitting here, pretending to be some person who has realized all of this. No, I'm in the same place you are. So we have a problem. So what do we naturally do if we have a problem? We want to solve a problem, right? That's what everybody wants to do. That's why you go work, or because you want to solve a problem of whether it's food, or whether it's money, or whether it's knowledge, or whether you want to solve some sort of problem in your life. But we're forgetting what the real problem is. We're forgetting to understand that the real problem is that, hey, I'm missing the whole basis of life. And people go on in their whole life like this. Why? Nature of illusion. Nobody teaches them. Nobody even questions it. Or even when people question it, it's too hard to answer. Too much to think about. Even the greatest of philosophers couldn't come to this conclusion. Descartes couldn't come to this conclusion. His conclusion was, when you look at it from a Vedic perspective, quite stupid. But he was, as looked at as a great philosopher. I think, therefore I am. Who's the I, though? You missed the whole point. So one has to stop identifying as this body, as this community, as this country, as this world, as this, earth. All of these things, this is all a conditioning of this body. It's according to my body. I serve this community because I'm black. I serve this organization because I specifically like whales. But you don't know who that I is. And then it changes to, now I like a different organization because this person in my life got this particular disease, so now I support this disease. You see? Although philanthropy looks like selflessness, it's called extended selfishness. It's according to, ultimately, you, yourself, and I. Actually, the most dear thing to us in this world is ourselves. If you examine yourself, really, the most dear thing to you in this world is you, yourself. Because it's ultimately about what you like and what you want to do. But because of the misidentification, we suffer. And when we think, we've had this in life, right? We think this is what we need and what we want in our life, and we chase after it, and we work really hard to get there, and it doesn't satisfy us. Everybody's had this experience? Yeah, looks like a lot of people are liberated in here. Everybody's experienced everything to a perfect degree. So we think we like this. And then we get there. How many people know? Okay, if you've been to university, does anybody know those? You've seen those people or met those people that change their degrees every year, every year? Seen that? Anybody met those people? Yeah. Every year they'll change like the course they're doing. And I've met people that have been in university for 10 years and they still haven't finished one single degree. This is, of course, we're seeing this bigger, we're magnifying it and it's there, but it's the nature of the conditioned soul. To consider, I like this, I don't like this, but because they don't know who they are and they're trying to figure it out. But we can't figure it out because it's nature, unless we have knowledge of the soul, unless we get knowledge of the understanding of what is matter, what is spirit, who's the controller of both, there's no question of knowledge. And then what if there is no question of knowledge, what to speak about love? What is love in ignorance? It's not love. Material relationships are love is love in ignorance, which is lust. So without a proper understanding, without proper knowledge of the basis of life, we will miss the point. We have missed the point. Yes, love is the goal and everything. Yes, that is true. And we will come to that. And this is what Krishna is speaking about in this Bhagavad Gita. That is the main thing. That is the goal of life, is love. Is this rasa. Rasa means this exchange of this feeling. This exchange of loving reciprocation, unconditional, like someone was saying, the definition of unconditional. That you feel that the other person completely understands you and you understand this person. But nobody is there like that in this world, if you haven't noticed. Who is full of knowledge? Unrealistic. Who is full of knowledge? They can't understand your heart. They cannot satisfy. If they don't know, then how can they satisfy you? So who is like that? Everybody is looking for that, right? Everybody wants that ultimately. Even when we have relationships, right? The partners, their minds are constantly saying, maybe there's someone better. It's the nature of the mind. Yeah? That's there, you've seen that? You've experienced that? You've been in relationships, you've experienced that in your past? You've experienced that? Your mind says, oh, maybe there's someone better. Maybe there's someone better. Why? Are you satisfied? Here's a person. No, because the soul wants the perfect person. The perfect person. We want something perfect. You want your knowledge to be perfect. You want everything you do in life to be perfect in this imperfect world. Why is this nature there? It is not just there because it's just okay, but it's there because it is real. There is something perfect. There is someone that can understand us fully. And that person gives themselves to us, and we can understand them fully and how to satisfy them. There is. Otherwise, that nature would not be there to have that. So this is where Krishna is speaking about those who come to this platform of knowing Krishna or knowing God. That we understand actually this relationships within this material world, they are just on the basis of this body, and they come and they're just like they're temporary sometimes within our lifetime, in the sense that we may have a really strong attraction towards a particular person, and then that person may go, in high school it's like that. Everybody is at high school, it's like, oh, I'm going to be with this person for the rest of my life. And then it's like 2 months later, you got someone else, or you got no one, whatever. So similarly, just like the relationships within this world already come in and go, at the time of death, everything is also taken away. That is the nature of it. But we want that relationship which is everlasting, right? If you found real love or someone that you really love, you don't want to let them go. There's a song like that, right? Anyways, there's a song like that. So, we don't want to let that person go. We want that love to be eternal. What is that? Till death do us apart. Is that the thing? Right? Till death do us apart. Huh? Yeah, till death do us apart. Till death do us part. Oh, okay. That gives a whole new thing to this whole thing. So ultimately, death comes and takes it away. Whatever relationship it is, you can't stop it. You don't want to stop. You don't want that relationship to stop. That loving relationship, reciprocation to stop. Even though sometimes it's incomplete. Even though it's incomplete in this material world, that little bit that we get, that small taste that we get, we don't want that to stop. But when this comes to the platform of knowledge, when it comes to the platform of realization of that we are the soul, that same love that is temporary in this world, The same love that doesn't particularly satisfy us because of this incomplete nature of knowledge becomes fully manifested. Fully manifested to its utmost extent, this love, when it comes in touch with God. When it comes in touch with Krishna, who is all attractive. We love someone who is very beautiful. We want someone who is very beautiful. Everybody wants someone who is very beautiful. Beauty. We want someone who is full of opulence, who is very, you could say, rich, or opulence also can mean in many different aspects. Fully opulent. We want someone who is full of knowledge, who is very intelligent. We want someone who is very strong, who can protect us. We want someone who is very renounced, not attached. We're looking for all of these qualities in total in people, but we cannot get them. But that is only available in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Govinda. Rama, the reservoir of pleasure. That is available there. So this love is, we're speaking here specifically about the unconditional love, but even the conditional love that is there with God. Sometimes we approach God with the level of conditioning. You say, okay, give me this, give me that. Unconditional means I'll love you no matter what. Yeah? I love you no matter what. Whatever happens in my life, I'll love you, my Lord. But most of us have conditioning, that you make this situation for me, you make that situation for me. At least we come in with that idea. And then when you see the reciprocation, it's a level of a relationship. And then that desire to serve that person who has given you something becomes more. It's generally, you got to be pretty, really selfish. It's someone that does something for you and you don't even feel like doing something for them back. Or you actually try to do something. If somebody gives you something, right, it's like we were speaking about at work. Somebody comes and gives you something in your mind, it's like, oh, what can I do for this person? So Prabhupada is speaking about that here. Even those people who come to God with the idea of getting something material, Krishna may give it to them. And so that may build a relationship to some level. But the highest form of this love is absolutely no conditions. You don't have to do anything for me. I'm here. Whatever situation, under any circumstances. Hell or high water? What is that? That's it? Hell or high water. No matter what. No matter what, till the, what is it? No. The Pramarsha Prabhu, no matter what. Yeah. Forevermore and no matter what. This is our motto. Forevermore and no matter what. How can I serve my dear Lord, who is my real lover? Who is the real lover of us? Because why? Because He is situated within the heart of every living entity. He is in your heart, He is in my heart. Every single person. He knows you completely. He knows you more than you know yourself. You had that in people in your life. Some people know you much better than you do. And it's surprising, but Krishna, He knows that to the full extent within your heart. He knows what you need. He knows what you want also. So there's the Supreme Personality of Godhead who knows us in complete full. And He can satisfy us. And He gives us the knowledge by which we can satisfy Him. Because of the desire to satisfy Him. This is why it's being said, Krishna is speaking in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that my devotees, they're very close to me. They're in my heart. And I'm always in their hearts. That I'm always thinking about them. God, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has everything He needs. Doesn't need anything. He is captured by love. God, who is above everything, people can't even conceive of Him, who has all the opulences. Nobody could control Him. But those who have love for Him, they can control Him. Love controls God. And therefore, He's saying here that the devotees do not know anything beyond it, and I cannot forget the devotees. This means that those who are fully in this platform of unconditional love or not, and Krishna is always thinking about his devotees. He's fully dedicated to them. He's always thinking. You always want someone that's always thinking about you. Or sometimes you're thinking about someone constantly, especially when you're young. You wake up with your day thinking about that person, and you go to sleep with that thinking about that person. So you want someone who's constantly thinking about you. So God is, Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, is constantly thinking about the individual living entity and how to bring that individual living entity closer to Him. He wants that more than we do. More than you do, more than you want it. He wants it. He wants that relationship. Krishna wants that loving reciprocation with Him. He wants it more. He feels more pain that I cannot have this relationship right now. That is the only thing he can take it if he wants to. But he can't force it. He doesn't force it. Why? Because love is independent. Love cannot be forced. I can't put a gun to your head, I'm going to send you to hell forever if you don't love me. This is not real love. That's fear. It doesn't work out if you haven't noticed. This love on basis of fear, it just destroys everything actually. Love on the basis of fear, or you could say this is not really love, but on that basis it just destroys things. You've seen it in your lives. People just with someone else because of fear of, not being able to be with someone else or some situation in life or material situation. Doesn't create anything good. But Krishna wants us to willingly love Him with knowledge, with understanding, with deep understanding. And that is what Krishna gives us that understanding. That's the most amazing thing. It's not that we have to just invent it. Krishna is revealing that knowledge by which you can fully understand your relationship with Him. Isn't that amazing? This Bhagavad Gita is giving us that knowledge by which the love that you've been looking for in this material world, which you're only getting a little drop, you can have an ocean of it. The nectar of devotion, bhakti rasamrita sindhu, means the ocean of love. Bhakti, devotion, you can have it. You can have that thing that we've been, body after body after body, we've been looking for in this world. You can have it in full by coming to this knowledge of devotional service, becoming anya bilashita sunyam jnana karmadya navritam anukullena krishnanum shilanam bhaktir uttama. What does this mean? This means that without any other desire, forget it, remove it all from your heart. Just forget it, all these false attachments. No desire for fruitive activities to gain something. No desire just to gain knowledge, but with a pure desire just to love God. It's high. It's high level. This is what real selflessness is. This is what real love is. Do we want that? Or do we want something cheap, or do we want something real? You want a fake diamond? You can go get it for very cheap. You can go. All you have to do is believe. You don't have to do anything. You can go get it. But we're only cheating ourselves. But this knowledge, it requires real work. It requires us to work through the misconceptions and wrong ideas of life that we have. It requires us, the Bhagavad Gita smashes that. We have to be ready to be smashed of our false ideas of life. And then to serve selflessly in itself is, presents so many difficulties, but one has to be determined. Because you want the real thing. You want the real thing. Depends what you want. Ultimately, it hinges on your desire. And Krishna doesn't mess with that. He doesn't mess with that. God doesn't mess with that because love is voluntary. So one who loves Krishna, one who loves God without any condition, Krishna is saying that person is the most dear to me. Not that others are not dear, but that person is most dear to me. I'm constantly thinking about this person. And I'm constantly thinking about how to bring this person closer and closer and closer and closer to me. So this is the purport that Srila Prabhupada is explaining. So we should endeavor for this love, and the foremost way that we've been given to do that is by this chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It awakens that desire. We have to awaken it, just like, most people think they want to become rappers and superstars and basketball players. You never had that when you were born, or it was awakened within you by speaking, by talking about it, people expressing it. Similarly, it is awakened by Shravan, by hearing about the goal of life, by discussing the goal of life, by deeply contemplating on the goal of life. So the Bhagavad Gita gives us that. The Hare Krishna mantra, it gives us that point by which we can start to actually see beyond just material energy. Krishna starts to become closer. So this is the process. And I spoke about, who am I to qualify? How am I qualified to speak about this love? What is love? Because real love is on this platform of spiritual life, not on material platform. We may have, even in our own lives, we've had relationships, here and there. But you realize, that was not the real thing. It didn't satisfy you. It didn't satisfy me. It didn't satisfy anyone. But that love that you taste, it's just like being in a desert and going days without water, and you come into devotional service and you practice you perform the practices, and you start to experience what is real love. Start to get a taste of what is real life. You start to see how people are just living in illusion. People's lives, everybody's in a desert, everybody's in a dark, deep well, screaming for help, but nobody can help them because, you can throw the rope down, but they're not willing to even come up. So we are lost. But this Bhagavad Gita, this Srimad Bhagavatam, is the light in this dark age of Kali. It is the light which is guiding us. It is Krishna himself, these books, whoever has got these books in their house, these books are the only shining lamp of knowledge in this world. They give us complete knowledge, absolute, which we are discussing. So the path of devotional service is a process, it's a science. It is not just faith. It is not just that you just come and believe. Krishna is pushing Arjuna on the battlefield. Inquire, O Arjuna. Inquire, don't stop. More questions. Arjuna at one point says, you know what, I accept you. And Krishna says, no, I want to keep speaking. I want you to understand everything in full. And at the end he says, do you have any doubts? Are you convinced? Are you convinced? We have to become convinced. How? By the sword of knowledge. We shall cut through the binding knot of ignorance in this world and completely become fully situated, fully determined to attain the goal of life, not caring a fig for whatever other people may say who are illusioned in this world. You have to become convinced. That means you have to have knowledge. Actually, the knowledge that these people are giving us, if you actually use your mind and your brain properly, you realize, I'm being cheated. That was my realization. After going through university and studying, these people are not giving me satisfaction. They're not here for my welfare. This is exploitation. It's a society of exploitation. Where is that place where I can go where there's no exploitation? That's what we want in our heart, ultimately. So here's Krishna. Here's Krishna and his devotees. Not that relationship is only with God, but it's with his devotees also. Therefore you'll see, it's not that I'm in the renounced order of life, I'm sitting here saying, all of those who have relationships, shame on you. No, that's not the point. I hope that's not the point that people got across. The point is that whatever relationship you may have, without the basis of it being Krishna conscious, is temporary. But with the basis of it being Krishna conscious, that relationship is eternal. May not be on the level of a husband and a wife or some friend, this friend and that friend in their next life, but it is an eternal connection in loving relationship with Krishna. That is real. So we're not sitting here saying don't have relationships, we're saying have relationships. Actually, the relationships we have within devotional service are so great because they come to this level of unconditioned, because you want to love Krishna with unconditional love, so the devotees around them are also in that same mood and atmosphere. And you experience that love. Actually, the love of God is experienced through His devotees. God is very high, it's sometimes hard to conceive of. But when we come into devotional service, that's the first thing we experience, the love from the devotees. These people are unlike any other people that I've met before. There's something here that's different. The energy is different. The whole mood and atmosphere is completely different. The direction of life is completely different. The thought and deep consideration that goes is completely different. You realize once you start hanging out with devotees a little bit, everybody's lives is hella superficial. It really is. Everybody, what do you talk about every day? I drank this night, I got with that girl last week, and then next week what happens? Same thing. It's okay. Nothing really deeper than that, but you come in association and you're discussing things that are like, whoa. And it never stops, This guy like me and Navani Hore Prabhu were discussing this morning. And it's like there's a level of there's a level of taste, ecstasy when we speak about these subject matters. The more we dive into it, it can be the same subject matter, right? It's the same thing. We can read the same thing, but we can just continue going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. This is the nature of devotional service. This is the nature of love. It never ends. It never stops. So this is what devotional service means. It means real love. Having real love, satisfying, quenches the thirst. You're swimming in the ocean of devotion. That requires dedication. It requires your time. Everything requires your time. One wastes it, one makes use of it properly. That's the most valuable thing you have in your life. So use that time and utilize that time to chant this mantra, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Make that the center of your life, and everything else will fall into place. I promise you. It's not just my promise. Krishna is promising. Why am I promising? Because this is the words of Krishna. This is the words of God. The words of the representative of God. It's a promise that we make it the center of our lives. It's not that hard. It really isn't. It's just our mind gets us in the way. I've seen so many people, now young people who are PhDs or full-time university students, working a job also, chant 16 rounds. It takes 2 hours, but it depends. Are you ready to put in the work? Are you eager? Are you eager to make advancement in spiritual life? One has to become eager. One has to become greedy. This is good greed, to become advanced in spiritual life, to go forward in spiritual life. So that means practicing. That means coming here like you're doing, which is amazing. You're coming here in a day where you could be out in Piedmont Park or in some other park, or hiking, or playing games, or whatever you could be doing. You're doing the highest thing you can do with the human form of life. So congratulations, but keep it going. Keep it going. Don't stop there. You're going to do something, do it properly. Use our time wisely, you will be happy. In the beginning it's tough, because that is the nature of things that are, rewardful. In the beginning, everything is tough. We mentioned that mode of goodness is like poison in the beginning, nectar in the end, because it forces you to change. To change, it's like, oh man, you don't want to do it. So we can implement this Mahamantra, this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You will see a great difference in your life. And you'll see the bliss, the awakening of bliss, the awakening of happiness, knowledge, our eternal realization, our realization of our eternal, who we are as eternal living entities. No more birth, no more death. Beyond. Go beyond this ocean of material existence. So I'll end the class there. If there's any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Okay, anything? No? Nothing? No? Okay. Anything from this side? No? Okay. All right. So,
Hare
obviously we have this every Sunday. We also have a morning program every day, which starts at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So if you want to make it for that, you're welcome to come. And other things that are going on, we gotta see how regular it is. We're having regularly evening classes on the nature of devotion service, how to practice properly. That generally is around 6:37, but we have to see. Things change all the time here. So, but we've been having it for the last couple of weeks, so now we're kind of coming to the end of it almost. Other things, there's prasadam downstairs. This is food that has been offered to Krishna. So please take it with devotion, take it with love. Do not waste any of it. If you want, you can take some to take it home with you. Take multiple plates. That's fine, no problem. Huh? Oh man, next time. Next time, I got you. Don't worry. I'm sorry. I should have made arrangement. My bad. If you come tomorrow, I got you. You can come in your suit. You can. I know where you're at. I'll come deliver it. It'll be real love for all the guys there too. So anyway, huh? Okay. So I'll get arrested. He'll put me in that jail cell over there. So yeah, okay. So this is please do not waste this prasadam. Take as much as you like. Other than that, please, there's a program next week. If you have questions that you don't feel like you can ask in the assembly and you want to ask personally, we'll be downstairs. So you can also ask like that also. I know some people don't like to ask in an assembly. So, okay. All right. Hare Krishna. It's okay.